How's it? So based on the poll I put up in my Notion community, it looks like people want me to build a simple CRM inside of Notion. So that's exactly what I'm going to show you how to do in this video. So I'm going to show you how to build this entire CRM step by step. So you can just follow along and build it yourself, or you can just grab the templates through the first link in the description. And if you want to join my new Notion community and get early access to tutorials and templates, as well as weekly group calls, then just check out my free Notion Wizards community in the description. Alright, so before we start building, let me just show you how this works. So here you have your pipeline, so I can move John around. I can click on John and then it will open up all of this information. So I can add the amount, so how much he's going to pay. I can add his details like his email, phone number, profile, when I've last contacted John. I can add his company and the meetings, so there's separate databases. I have a company database and then also a meetings database where you can have the meeting link. You can click on it, it will take you to Zoom or Google Meet. You can see when you have your next meeting, you can mark it as done, and everything is linked with each other. So I can just open up John and see everything that I need to see. And I can also click on a meeting and then it will give me all of the information for that meeting. Alright, so we're going to start off with an empty page. So in your sidebar, just click on add page, and then here you can add an icon and a name. And then you used to have to click on empty page, but I see that they've now changed this, which I think looks a lot cleaner. But yeah, I just find it funny because yesterday I already finished recording my Notion course for my free Notion community, link in the description. So by the time I release the course, I already have to create update videos on pretty much everything because Notion is constantly running out updates, which is a good thing. But yeah, that's more work for me. But anyways, let's get started with the video. Alright, so we're going to start off by creating a table view database. So just type in /table, click on table view database, and then we're going to select a new database. And this is going to be our contacts database. And then also just quickly give your database icon. So click on the block menu, click on rename, and then here just select the icon for your database. So I'm just going to use this one. And then I'm also going to delete the tag property. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another table database. And this one is going to be called company. And then for this one, I'm going to do the same thing. Delete the tag property, click on the block menu, go to rename, and then just add an icon for this company page. So I'm just going to do this one. And then I'm going to do this one more time for the meetings database. So let's add a new database, call this meetings, delete the tag property, and then also just give this one an icon. So let's just give this one this video icon. There we go. And then I'm also going to go to the page menu in the top right and click on full width in order to extend the width of the page. And then I'm also going to add all of these databases inside of callout boxes. So I'm going to call this one contacts and then highlight this, make it bold, underline it, and change the text color, and then also give it the same icon. And then I'm going to hide this database icon and just drag and drop the database inside. And I'm going to do this for all the other ones as well. Alright, so now we got our three databases. You can also create multi-column layouts like this if you'd want to, because yeah, they're inside of callout boxes, so you can just drag them around. And what we're now going to do is we're going to add all the properties for these databases, then we're going to relate them, and then we're going to clean everything up. Alright, so let's start with the easiest database, which is going to be the meetings database. So this one is going to have the least amount of properties. So for this one, what we're going to do is we're going to add a date property. We're going to add a link property, so URL property. This one is going to be called meeting link. Then we're going to have a text property for the passcode in case there is a passcode for the meeting. We're also going to add another URL property, which is going to be for the recording. So if you have the recording in Loom or Google Drive or someplace, then you can just drop the link in here. We're also going to add a checkbox to mark this meeting as done. And then the last property is going to be a relation to this contacts database, but we'll add that one in later. Alright, so next is going to be the company database. So for this one, we're going to add a files media property, which is for the company logo. We're going to add a URL property, which is for the company website, a select property, which is going to be for the location of the company, another select property for the industry, and then the last one is also going to be a relation to this contacts database. Alright, so now for the contacts database. First property we're going to add is going to be a checkbox, which is going to be called archive. Then we're going to add a status property, which is just going to be status. We're going to add a URL property, which is going to be for the profile. And we're also going to add the email property. We're going to add a phone property, a create a time property, and also a date property, which will be called last contacted. And depending on how you charge your clients, you can add that in as well. So if it's a project-based price, then you would most likely add the amount on the projects, which we're not going to do now because this is just a CRM. Or if you charge per month, then you can add that in here as well on the client, or you can do an hourly price. So yeah, depending on how you charge, you would change it. But I'm just going to show how to do both, so the monthly and the hourly rate. So if you have a fixed monthly rate, then you're just going to do number. So let's just do monthly price. And then this needs to be formatted to a currency. So you just select your currency. And then what you do for the hourly rate, this also needs to be a currency. So let's just change this as well. And then I'm just going to move myself here. And then you just add a formula. So this formula is going to be called monthly amount. And then this formula is going to take the hours per week property and multiply it with the hourly rate property. And now if I click on done, and I also change this monthly amount formula to a dollar amount or a currency, like whatever currency you're using, then here if I add in hourly rate, so let's do 250, and hours per week is going to be 50, then it will show the monthly amount. And then if you're doing a project-based price, then in your projects database, you just add in another property, which is the amount, and then you can just add in the amount inside of your project. Alright, so let's go ahead and edit the status property, because this will probably be the most important. This is sort of your pipeline of your clients. So here you can fill in these different stages. So maybe they are at first just a prospect, and then they are a lead, and then inside of in progress, we can maybe change this one to discovery call, and then maybe a strategy call, and then they are your client. So obviously you would just change this for yourself, like whatever your stages are. But yeah, you can like group them according to do, in progress, and complete. So complete would be done. It would maybe also be ghosted, and also maybe lost. And then for these, you can like change the color. So you can change the color of all of this. So I'm just going to change it to light gray. And then for these, you can change this as well. So maybe move this one down, because this is further down the line. This one is first, so let's maybe do this one. I don't know, let's make it blue, purple, and this one pink. And then these we can do red, and this one maybe red as well. Or let's actually change this around and make this one orange. So let's add in someone's name. So let's just do John. And then here for status, we can now select, okay, John is a prospect. So this is the default option. So if you edit this, then you'll see here default. So you can always change this. You can change the default. So this is if you create a new database entry, then it will always be prospect. So you can change that if that's not the case for you. But yeah, so John is currently a prospect, and then he becomes a lead, discovery call, move to the strategy call or directly to client, and then done when you're finished. So yeah, that's sort of your pipeline. Like you would add your own stages here inside the status property. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have a Kanban board, like a board view that shows the status, so you can just move them from one to the other. But before we go ahead and add views, let's just go ahead and add a relation property so that we can connect this contacts database to the other ones. So just add a relation property, and then you want to select these two databases. So the first one is going to be meetings. So the meetings got a blue icon. So it's going to be this one, show on meetings. You want this to show on both databases. Then just click add relation, and then here you can just give it an icon. So I'm just going to give it the meetings icon. And then the next relation is going to be for the company. So let's add a relation, and then you'll search for the company. So it's this one. Let's click on it and then show on company, add relation, and also just change the icon. All right, so now if I go here, then you'll see that we'll be able to connect this database entry. So let's actually just move these all the way over. Let's move meetings here. And then let's do the same for company. And then here I can now, so I have John. So John is one of my contacts. The company, let's just go with Notion. And the meeting will maybe be something like discovery call. So let's just add that in. So now for John, we can connect him to a specific meeting. So we can do discovery call. We can also connect John to a specific company. So Notion. And then for these, it will show up. So as you can see here, John is showing up on the company database as well as on the meetings database. And then we can also just change these icons. So let's just go with this, change this one as well. There we go. And yeah, our databases are now connected with each other. So let's go ahead and add icons to everything. Let's also just clean this up. So I'm just going to remove all of the empty database entries. So I'm just going to remove these. So now we just have one for each. And then for each database, we're going to add a template button to add an icon as well as extra information. So just go to the drop down next to new, click on new template, and then here, just give an icon. So this will be like the default icon. I'm just going to do this person icon. And then when you click out, you can go to the drop down and then click on the template button menu, click on set as default for all views. And then now if we add a new database entry, it will automatically have an icon. So let's just also open up John, click on the icon. And yeah, now John has an icon. And as you can see here, it looks a lot cleaner. So let's do the same for the other ones as well. So for the company one, new template, I'm just going to select this temple icon. And then I'm going to also just set this one as default. There we go. Now, if we add a new company, then it will automatically have that icon. I'm also just going to change this one to this icon and also do the same for the database. So let's just change the icon. There we go. Now I'm also just going to open this one, click on the template button to add the icon and then just delete the other two. And then do the same for the meetings database. So I'm going to open up this template. And here you'd most likely have multiple templates because you'll have different types of meetings. So let's do maybe discovery call for one of them. And this one can maybe be a red video call icon like this. And then let's maybe add another one. So this can maybe be strategy call. And for this one, you can have a different color. So let's do purple or something. And then we can maybe just do normal call. So this will be like a standard one. This one can be blue. So let's just add a blue icon. And yeah, we can add different types of calls. And then you can color code them. And then inside of this, so if I just edit this again, if I open up the discovery call, here you would add in your agenda or sales letter or presentation or notes or whatever you want. So if I just go ahead and structure this, so for the discovery call, let's say at the top, we want a notes section. And then we just add like a note, a bullet point. And then we can just, when we open this up, we can just quickly add notes. We can also maybe just change the text color. Let's maybe do that. Then next section, this can maybe be something like questions. So this can maybe be the questions that you would ask the person on the call. So this would be question 1, question 2, etc. And then you can maybe even have it like this. So if you have so you can press enter and then it will create a new number. But if you press tab, then you can have like this, so indentations, so a sub item, and then you can have your question here, and then on the call you can write down the answer of the person here. So you can do it like that. I can also highlight this and just make this a different color. And then you can also maybe at the bottom you can have an agenda. So this can maybe be like a checklist. So item 1, item 2, and then you can maybe also here at the bottom have your sales presentation or whatever. So you would just fill this out, you would pre-populate this, and then if we just add colors to all of these, so let's just do like that. And here, if this is a discovery call, and open this up, I click on discovery call, so it will add the name as well as the icon, but it will also load everything that we just put inside the template button, as you can see. And then on the call, you just open this up, add in your notes, go through your questions, add the answers, go through your agenda, and then go through your sales presentation or whatever you're doing on your calls. So for this meetings database, you can just click on this drop down and click on one of these. So if it's a strategy call, I'm just going to click on this one and it will automatically create it. Or you can just create a new database entry, open it, and then select what you want. So for this database, I'm not going to have one as default because you would like have different types of calls, but you can always like just set this one as default if you want. But yeah, I'm just going to keep it like this. So you just select which type of call you're going to have. Alright, so now that all the properties are added, let's go ahead and create the views. So on the contacts database, I'm going to click on this database menu. And then for the name, I'm just going to add a space because we're just going to have one view. And then here for the icon, I'm just going to select this icon. So that already looks a lot cleaner. And then for the layout, I'm going to select board view. For this board view, I'm going to click here, group by status, and this will take you to the group option. You can also find it here. So inside the database menu, you just go to group. And then here you want to untoggle the hide empty groups. So we want to see everything. And then we also want to color the columns like this. And maybe we want to change the card size to small. So under layout, you can change the card size. So I can make it small, I can make it large. But I think let's just keep it on medium. And then if I go back to group, you'll see that you have other options as well. So you can sort it according to ascending or descending. So the order in which it is inside the status, you can do it manually. So you can drag it around. And you can also group it by the actual group. So to do in progress and complete, or by the option, which is what we want. And then if we go back and we go to properties, then here you'll be able to select what you want to show on this view. And then what you also want to do inside of group is you just want to hide the last three. So all the completed ones, you just want to hide. So then it will show here inside of hidden groups. So you just click inside and then it will show all of them. So if I move John into done, then I can click here and it will show John, and I can move John out. So I can just, like, for example, move him here. And yeah, it's just hidden because it's not active, like you're not going to need it. It's done. So yeah, that makes sense. In the database menu, if you go to properties, in here you can choose what you want to show on this view. So I want to show the company, I want to see the price, I want to see the value of John, so I want to see the monthly price, or I want to see the monthly amount, depending on what we're using. So let's just stick with monthly amount because this already has a number. It's not nothing, so monthly amount. And then what we also want to do is we just want to add a profile. So we can add the profile, and that's all we're going to add for this view. And then what we want to do is we want to close out of this. And then for this calculate option, we just click on this, and then the sum of and then whatever you're going to use. So I'm using the monthly amount. So then it will show the total value, like of everyone in your pipeline, essentially. So yeah, you can do that if you want. And here we can now move John along our pipeline. We can click on John, and then it will open up all of this. So here we can set all the other stuff. And we can also change this around. So I'm going to do the relations last, but let's just move status to the top. Let's move archive to the bottom. Let's move create the time to the bottom. And then let's just move profile, email, and phone number to the top. So all the contact details, last contacted date property. And then we have the amounts. So the hourly rate. So the hourly rate, hours per week, the monthly price. And then this one needs to be there. So these are together. This one is standalone. And then we got archive and then the relations. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to add icons to the monthly amount. So I'm just going to add like a money icon for this one. I'm also going to add it for the monthly price. So let's just do the same icon. And for hourly rate, I'm going to add a time icon. So I'm just going to do this one. Hours per week, I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to select this one. And then I'm also going to hide all the properties I'm not going to use. So to create a time property, I'm just going to hide this one. The archive property, I'm going to hide this one as well. And then since I'm using the hourly rate and the monthly amount, I'm going to hide the monthly price. And then for the relation properties, what you want to do is you want to click on the relation, go to show as, and then select as page section. So you can also show it as minimal. This is only for relations. So for the relation properties, you can actually change it. So it doesn't have to be a part of these. You can have them on their own. But I like the page section because yeah, you can like drag this around. You can see everything here. So I can open up John, and then I'll be able to see, okay, here's all of John's details. John is part of this company, and here's all the meetings I had with John. And what you can also do is you can click on this menu, and you can choose to show certain properties inside of this. So maybe I want to have the website. So I'll add a website and then show you how that looks. And maybe, yeah, I think we only need to do website for that one. And then for the meetings, we can do the meeting link. We can do the date. And then let's maybe also do the down checkbox property and move this one to the top. And yeah, I don't think the other two are necessary. So if I go to company and I add in a website link, then you'll see the website link will show here. And I can click on it to open up the website. And same for the meetings, I can add in the meeting links. And it will show up here, and I can also add in a date. So let's just do it like this, and then you'll see everything showing up inside of this one database entry. So when you're using the CRM, you don't even need to go to the other two databases. You can literally just click on the person, and you can find everything, and you can always just, for example, click on this discovery call, and then it will take you to this discovery call. And while we're here, so we're now inside of this discovery call, I'm also going to do the same for this relation. So I'm going to change this contacts one to also a page section like this. And then for this one, we're going to show the status property. So the status of your client. We're going to show the company property. So we can maybe just move these around. And then we're also going to show the monthly amount. So let's just add that in. And we're going to do the same for the company one. So I can also just click here and it will take me to the company. And this one, I'm also just going to show as a page section. And just add in the same property. So let's do status, company. Okay, well, sometimes it is a company because we're in the company, and then just like monthly amount. So I think let's just do these. And then for this company one, I'm going to change the location icon to an actual location icon. So let's maybe do this one. And then the logo, this can maybe be an image icon. And the website, I think, yeah, these are fine. We can maybe change the industry to something else. So let's do maybe like a grid or something. And then if we go to the meetings database, let's also just change these. So for the date property, I'm just going to select one of Notion's calendar icons. And then for the passcode, I'm just going to add this type icon. And then the recording, I'm just going to do like a play icon, maybe this one. I guess I might as well just change this one as well. So let's just do this one, the actual video icon. All right, so that's the properties and everything done. You can also reorder these. So I can do done at the bottom, or recording would probably be at the bottom because that would be later. So first you have the date, then you have the meeting link, the passcode if it's needed, then you mark it as done, and then you add in the recording. And then for the company one, this doesn't really matter. But we can maybe do logo at the top, industry, location, and then the website, or maybe this is at the bottom because you'd most likely fill these out first. And yeah, that's essentially the properties when it comes to the CRM. All right, so we now got a view for our contacts. Let's now also create a view for the company. So for this one, I'm going to go to the database menu. I'm going to go to layout, and I'm going to select a gallery view. Before this gallery view, I want this to be the logo. So I'm going to change the card preview to logo because I want the logo to show up here. And then I'm also just going to go back, add a space for the name, and then just add in like this building icon. And yeah, we're also going to go to properties and then choose what we want to show. So we want to show the website, and we also want to show the industry. So if I open up this company, so let's open it up. Let's go to industry. Let's maybe do like e-commerce or something. And then I can also just change the color. So let's just go with red. And then if I add an icon, so you can just search for the company logo on Google and then just go to image, right click and go to copy image address. And then you can go here, and you can also upload files. So you can download the logo and then upload it here, or you can just embed the link, click on link. And then as you can see here, Notion logo is now added, but it's not fit into the page. So let's go to layout and then just select this option. So fit image, and then there you go. The logo is now added inside of our company database. And I think maybe the industry is not necessary because you would most likely know what industry you're dealing with. So I think, yeah, maybe just keep it like this. What we can do is we can also add our contacts database to show up here. So it will show all the people that we're working with. So we can maybe move this around. But if it's like one company and multiple clients, then obviously that's going to be a lot. But yeah, more than likely you're just working with one person per company. So you can do this as well. All right, now let's do the meetings database. All right, so for this meetings database, we're going to add two views. So the first view is going to be a gallery view, and the card preview is going to be nothing. So we're going to set the card preview to none, and we're going to change the card size to small. And then this view is going to be called upcoming. And then we're also just going to give it an icon. And then on this view, we're going to show the contact, so the person. We're going to show the meeting link, and we're also going to show the date property. And then I'm just going to reorder them. So I'm just going to put the person at the bottom, and then it's the date, and then the meeting link. And we're also going to add filters to this, but I'm first going to add the second view. We'll do the filters at the end because I need to add a filter here as well. So let's just do the second view first. So for the second view, we're going to select a list view. And then the name is going to be history. We're going to give it an icon. So let's just do this time icon. And then inside of layout, we're going to hide the database title. And then what we're going to do is we're going to group this database view according to the contacts database. So we're grouping it according to the person. And then for the properties, we want to show the date property as well as the recording link. So let's just move that there. And if we, for example, just open up Discovery Call and then just add in the same link, then it will now show up here. So you have the recording link, you have the date, and then you also have it grouped by the person. So you can just open up the person and see all the calls that you had with that person. And then for this view, we're going to sort this according to the date property. So the most recent one should show at the top. So March 20, March 8. And then we're going to filter this view to where the date property is before and then today. So if the date of the meeting is in the past, or so if we just click on the menu, click on add to advanced filter, then we add another filter rule. And in this one, we just change to or. So it's either in the past or the done checkbox property is checked. So if the meeting is marked as complete, so for example, if you have a meeting today and you mark the meeting as done, then it will show up here, or if the meeting's date is in the past. And for this view, we're pretty much going to do the opposite. So we're going to filter this to where the date property is on or after and then today. So if it's either today or in the future, it will show up here. And then we also want to add it to an advanced filter, add a filter rule. And this one we're going to keep on and. So it needs to be either today or in the future. and the checkbox property, the done checkbox property needs to be unchecked. So if we have a meeting today, but the checkbox property is checked, aka we already had the meeting, then it will disappear and it will move to the history view. Now what I would also do is I would maybe add in another view, which is a list view, which is called today. And then here you just have this icon, and with this one just hide the database title, and then the properties is going to have the date property, the done checkbox property, and also the contacts property. So we're just going to move this. It's also going to have the meeting link, so let's just move the meeting link maybe here or there. And then if we exit out of this, we can then add a filter to filter this to where the date is and then today. We can also add it to an advanced filter to also only show the unchecked checkboxes. So let's just do the unfinished meetings. And yeah, that's a simple view that you can use. So I would recommend like these would be in your CRM here. And this view, I would recommend copy and paste this into your actual main dashboard where you see everything. So you can just quickly see, okay, today I got a meeting with John. Here's the link. Here's the date. So obviously this is unnecessary. But if you include a time, so if you open up the date, include a time, and then let's say this meeting is at 3 p.m. or something. And then you can include a reminder. So I want to be reminded 1 hour before. So then you can actually see the time. So it is useful. And then you can just mark the checkbox as complete and it will move to the history view. And then I also just want to add a filter to the contacts database. So for this one, I just want to filter this to only show the database entries where the archive checkbox property is unchecked. So if you open up John and you go here and you click on archive, then it will be removed. And then for this database, you can also add another view. I'm just going to add another space. Let's change it to a list view, hide the database title, maybe just give it like a check mark icon, or maybe a box, like a archive box. Yeah, let's do this one. And then we just filter this view to only show the checked checkboxes. And then inside of properties, we can then choose what we want to show. But yeah, we can then, if we archive John, so let's just open up John, archive him, and then go to archives, and then you'll see John here. And obviously if you want to display different information here, you just go inside the database menu, go to properties, and then here you can choose what you want to show. So maybe I want to show the company, I want to show the monthly amount, and yeah, maybe it's just that. So I just keep that in. And yeah, now you can archive your clients as well if you don't want them on this view. And then what I also want to add is for the meetings database, I'm going to just copy one of these views, copy the link, and then I'm going to paste it in, and then I'm going to create a link to view database, create new empty view, select the calendar view, and then hide the database title. And in this one, I'm just going to add a space as well, add Notion's native date icon, and then I'm also going to show the meeting link, the done checkbox property, as well as the contact. And then here you now have a calendar view showing all of your meetings, so you can see them, well, on a calendar view. And what you can also do is just add it into a colored box. So let's just do calendar, and then let's just double click, make it bold, underline it, and change the text color to blue, change the icon, drag and drop this in. And then you can move this calendar, so this colored box next to this one, and then you can create a multi-column layout. And then here I can just resize. So I'm just going to resize until I can see all the views like this. And now I can use this one and I can quickly see what's on my calendar. So if I open up the CRM, then I can be like, okay, we've moved John here. We add a meeting for John. We can just like double click to add a meeting here as well. And then we select, okay, it's a strategy call and adding the meeting link. But yeah, that's pretty much the CRM. You can obviously change stuff around. This will probably look a lot different for you, the way you price, etc. But yeah, now you know how to build a CRM inside of Notion. And you can also just grab this template through the link in the description. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Remember to give this video a like if you want me to build more Notion related systems for businesses, specifically for agencies, and also drop a comment down below what you would like to see. Thank you for watching, and make sure to watch this next video if you want to learn how to use ChatGPT to help you build Notion templates.